So I want to talk about this Mackenzie Shirilla case. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anyway, this chick, when she was 17, drove her car at 100 miles per hour into a brick building, unaliving her boyfriend and his friend, or their mutual friend. And so this case, number one, is why I speak so strongly against spell work, and emphasize trusting the divine for your life. But there's so many different relationship dynamics that come out in this case. Of course, it's the relationship with self, but then it's the relationship with her parents. Then it's the relationship with the school. Then it's the relationship with her friend group, and culminating with the relationship with her boyfriend. So if we look at how she was raised and we look at how her parents, even continuously throughout the case, have interacted with her, they basically contributed to creating the monster that she is today. And I call people monsters lightly, only because like, that was human nature. Like, that was how she was going to perceive life, based on the fact that her parents, especially her mother, um gave her this false sense that she was invincible, could throw temper tantrums and get her way, and basically evade any kind of accountability and taking responsibility. So her parents set the ball in motion. She was known as a bully in school. And even when the bullying was reported, it really wasn't, nothing really happened to her as a consequence. So that's the relationship with the school and the parents. But then she gets into this relationship with her boyfriend, Dom, and he further enables her to think that she's invincible and can throw temper tantrums and get away with whatever. It also speaks to the fact that men can be victims of domestic violence. And, because of like the nature of a man, potentially touching, putting hands on a woman, um, and because he was a nice young man, he was trying to like cover up who she really was. He was trying to like not be in a position to lay hands on her or anything like that. And so he essentially enabled her behavior. Um and then when you talk about like the friend group, I really think that they may have seen some of what was really happening behind closed doors. But I think that because her boyfriend covered up and tried to protect her as much as possible, um, they really didn't get to see the true person that she was. Now, I do think that the other young man who was unalived in the vehicle, did see that side because he was living with them for a time period. And so my theory is that possibly he was trying to convince Dom to leave the relationship, because he definitely did indicate that he was getting out of the relationship. And it's just a really sad situation all around. But one of the things that I saw the clips on TikTok, and then went to go watch the documentary on Netflix. It's called The Crash. And the documentary revealed that this chick was allegedly doing love spells on her boyfriend. And clearly it wasn't working because he was planning on leaving her. And so she decided that, on some basically like, if I can't have him, nobody can. And when you have a situation like that, that's why I speak against spell work, because first of all, spell work is taking things into your own hands and not allowing the divine to take care of it. And so there's two dynamics to spell work. Is basically saying that you don't trust your spirit team and or your higher self to handle whatever that needs to be handled. You don't believe in divine timing, and divine order. And so when she felt like the spell work was not working, then she went to plan B to further take matters into her own hands. And so that's why I talk about believing in your protection, knowing that anybody that comes against you, anybody that could potentially harm you, is going to be handled by the divine. I mean, what it really boils down to is the person just reaps what they have sown. If they're doing something crazy, they're going to reap what they sow. And so even though two people unfortunately lost their lives in this situation, this young lady is reaping what she sowed. And like, sometimes it has to take extreme measures for the person to actually have to face the music finally. And what we don't realize from a human perspective is that this energy that's housed in this young lady's body is probably an energy that was doing this kind of thing for lifetime after lifetime, and was given opportunity after opportunity to do things differently. And so these two energies agreed that they would, be involved in making sure that she was brought to justice, basically. And so the case was basically, like, the case was decided. She was sentenced to 15 years to life. And so the case was basically decided on the evidence of her premeditation. And so the word meditation is what I want to focus on as well, because if you're meditating on the divine, on connecting with your spirit team, on connecting with your higher self, focusing your meditation and your energy and your thoughts on all things that are for your highest and best good, that's going to produce nothing but everything that serves you in this lifetime, versus the fact that she meditated on, how can I make sure that I keep this relationship? How can I, figure out this, figure out that? She was trying to take matters into her own hands. And I mean, her and her father were out at the crash site using a freaking pendulum to connect with Dom and ask him if he still loves her. And I mean, like, really? Even if I was with the whole pendulum shit, I mean, there is energy is energy. Energy can push the pendulum and all that shit. But at the same time, I know that my energy is powerful enough to push the pendulum. So if I want the pendulum to say something in particular, my energy can push that pendulum to say what I want it to say. And that's what we all need to realize, is how powerful we all are, how powerful our thoughts are, and what a driving force our thoughts are. Because the more you meditate on a particular thing, is going to propel you forward in that direction. It's the law of the universe. But y'all ain't listening to me though.